Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture we are going to make this star pattern. So in this star pattern what you need to give is the number of rows which can be entered by the user. So in this case I have entered this 20 row. That means you have 20 row in your star pattern. So after you just input this number of rows, the star will be generated here, star pattern basically. So we'll just deal with this star pattern and how to just use of this looping in order to create this star pattern. So by the end of this lecture you can get this star pattern structure where you have a space in this left hand side and the star or number of star is decreasing basically one by one from both of these sides. So let's get into it. So as always you have to just open your ideally, and you can do it by just searching on your this search bar. Just press ideally all in, that is uppercase, and you can get this ideally. So once you just open that ideally, what you need to do is just open a new script as I have done here, and after you just open that script, let me just save this down again and just save it as something that is star.py. and if you just hit this save button, then you are good to go with this lecture. So first of all we have to just input the number of row from user. So let me do that first. So let me just say input, which is basically our input statement, and I'll just say enter number of rows, and this will be the message that can be given to our user. And after that what you can do is we have to just typecast this into the integer. So that can be done with this int method. So this is basically if you just enter something that is like 90 or 9.4, that means it should be converted into 9. So it should be converted into 9 because the rows cannot be into the decimal. So in order to do that we have this integer method, and if you want to just convert this 9 to 9.4 or basically 9 to 9.0, that means you have something that is float method. So we are not really interested in this float method in this lecture, but we are really interested is in this integer in order to just convert this into an integer. So after you just get that integer number of rows, what you need to do is make use of this loop. So this loop is basically the for loop, which is very powerful loop, and you just give this for loop in order to iterate in this structure. So in this case we are making this structure which is list or iterable structure, and range will just provide that iterable structure. So let me first give this starting point, which is n, and the stopping point, which is basically exclusive, is -1. So basically what you have done here is you have given this start point, and o is basically your exclusive point. That means it will just end at something that is before this 0. So you won't reach to 0, it will be basically before that 0. So if you have given something that is n is basically 5, let me say 5, that means you will just make this range from 5 to your 1. So it won't just include your 0 position, it will just create your list something like this list, and it has element like 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. It won't just get this 0, basically it is an exclusion. If we just put here something that is, let me say 1, that means it will just generate 2. So this is exclusive position, and if I just put this 0, that means it will just range to 5 to 1, not 0. And basically -1 is backward step. So if you have +1 over here, and if you have something that is 4 over here, and if n is 2, and you could get the new list that would be something like, let me just go from 2 to 4, that means 2 to 3 only, not 4, because 4 is an exclusion position. And basically the step is +1, that means you increase by unit step, that means you just go from 2 to 3 if this was the case. But we are just interested in the backward step, that means you are just decreasing every step. So after that, what you need to do is make use of this loop in order to just give that star pattern. So in order to give the star pattern, we make use of this print statement, and let me just say n minus I, which is basically for our space. So I'll just say n minus I is for our this space, and after that let me just concatenate it with I, which is basically the row here, and let me just concatenate with this string which contains star. So if I just print this down, semi first, and let me just press this F5, then let me just first clear this console, and let me save it down again, and it is saying enter number of rows. Let me say I want 5 rows, then you could see the 5 rows here of this star pattern. So basically this print statement is this, basically this is for our space. You can clearly see over here space is basically in the increasing rate, and if you could see here, n and minus I is basically your list. So when I just say 4, so in the first case you have something that is I want 5 row, that means you are just subtracting this with 5 minus 5. So when you do 5 minus 5, you don't have any space, but I is for the 5, that means 5 into star is for this 5 star. In the next case, I becomes 4, that means you get 1 space. In the next, I become 3, that means you get 2 space. And in the next, I becomes, let me say 4, that means you get this 3 step, and in the last it becomes 1, and when this is 1 you get 4 space over here in this last one. And same goes for this star. Star has 5 at first, and it will just decrease to 4 in the next, and 3 and 2 and 1 in the last, which is basically the value of I. So if I just say here, that is, let me say -1, then let me save this down again and print this down, and it will say number of rows. Let me say 5 one more time, and it has no effect whatsoever, because you could see we have something that is 1 2 3 4 5, which is same list, but 0 is basically the count here, which doesn't really affect, because you have space, which is basically 0 into space and 0 into star, which is 0, and it won't print over here. So this is basically your star pattern, which is the use of this range method in order to create the list. And I is basically your iterable using this for loop, and you just print space and star with this loop in this fashion. Let me take another pattern, that is this number star pattern. So by the end of this another session, we just get this number pattern same as before, but using the to loop here, that is for loop inside for loop, which is basically our nested for loop. So let's begin. So first of all, I'll just say number here would be something 1, and I'll just make use of this range, which is the method that we just used before, and it will just create the list based on this O and N. So N would be input from the user. So let me just first input this N. So let me say input me value of N, which is obviously the number of row. So I'll just format with this simple message to the user, which will be input me the value of n, and it will just range from O to n. And the step, if you don't give any step here, its default is 1. So you are just moving from O to 1, and basically after this we have to just assign again this number is 1. And let me just make use, that is our inner loop, which is nested value. So this inner loop is basically to handle the number of column. So this I, which is the outer loop, is to handle the number of rows. Handling the column will be our nested loop. So let me just say for j in range, and for this column we have to just give I to I plus 1 here. So this loop, just remember, this loop is for our rows and this loop is for our columns. So let me just write a couple of code over here, which is our print statement. In this print statement you have to just give the number, which is basically our number. In this case it would be 1, and we'll just print it by just adding to the 1, which is in every time you have 1 1 1 is here, 2 2 2 and 3 3 3 4 4 and 5. If you could see here in the column you have changed, so if you go in the next column you have to just increase the number. That means you have to just give this number value increase to 1 every time you just call this loop. So in the next case what you need to do is we'll just make use of some attribute inside this print, which is end. So if I just say end, then let me just go back to this console again and let me show you that what is this print statement really does. So let me say print me something that is 1 2 3, and in this end it should be, let me say, space. And if I just do this, then you could see 1 2 3 with the no end or no space, because it is in the new print. So if I just give this end, let me just have to print a couple of more statement in order to show you this end basically. So if you have couple of statement over here, that means you have a 2 or 3 print. That means in next print there will be the space before the next print. So let me just comment this out first and let me show you what I'm really talking about. So let me just comment out, and if you just print something that is, let me say, 1 2 and give this end attribute which is over here, and it is basically the /n, which is our default. So /n is for the new line, and it will just give the new line, that is one new line when you just print the next statement. What if I say, let me just give here that is @ to see the effect, and in the next statement I'll just print 4 and 5, let me say string 1 2 3, and let me just give end as the new end here, which would be this space, and in this case it will be $. And if I just print this down, save this down first and print this down, let me just remove this console again and let me save this down and run it again, then you could see this value, which is basically in this first print you are just getting this 1 2, and this end is basically giving the new space, which is basically the /n. /n is giving or printing this bunch of code which is just this end. So end is basically the attribute which is just added with this number here, and if you have string, this end is basically the value which is just added to this end. So you can just clearly see in this example you have this space and $, that is added with this string value at the end, and in the case of 1 2 it is also added at the end. So this is an end attribute which can be added to this end method. So let me just roll it back again, and this is basically our end. So in this case what you need to do is we'll just give 2 space here. So not the 1 space, because 1 space is usually the default, which is /n. We have to just give the 2 space. So in order to give the 2 space, we have to just extend this print method attribute with end. So next is to just increment this num, which is basically our number, and if you see here in every column you have an increased number. So you go from first column to second column, you get 1 to 2. That means you have to just increase this number which is printed over here from 1 to 2 in the next column, and this j is basically for your next column and I is for your next row. So now next thing what we need to do is we have to just print the ending line after each row. So let me just print this down, and it should be with this /r, and if you do this then you are good to go. So first of all we have this number, and if you just put this range, then you could see this number printing over here. So let me just save this down. So we have number here and n, and let me just first save this code and run it again. Then you could see give me the value of n, let me say 5. So we have now just reached to the important part of this lecture, which is string object cannot be interpreted as an integer. So what the error is really about, it is basically in this range. If you see here, this range basically takes only an integer. So let me go back to the console again, and it is saying this string object cannot be interpreted as an integer. So if I just say that is range function taking me O and something that is 4 over here. And let me just close this down. It is the same error. So it is saying string object cannot be interpreted as an integer over here, and it is the same message over here. So what could be wrong here? So in this input, as I have already said, this input normally takes a string. So if I just say what is the type of this n, and let me just print this down first, and let me just save this code and print this down. So let me just clear this one and press the F5. Then let me just give 5, and it is not saying anything because we have an error directly over here. So we have to print this down first in order to see the type of an n. And let me save this down again, and let me say 5. Then it is saying it is of class string. So input gives us a input which is in the form of a string, but we have already seen this range doesn't take this string. So n is here as a string, and input of this range or argument of range cannot be your string. It should be strictly integer. So in order to convert this string to integer, you have to make use of this integer method, which is our typecasting method. So now we have converted our value of n into the integer which is acceptable in this range method. So let me save this down first, and let me just press this F5, and let me just clear this one more time, and let me save this down and run it again, and you could see the value of n which is 5, let me say, and you could see our output which is a star pattern in the form of numbers. So you have a loop here which is number of 5, which is row basically, and you could get this value of n increase every time when you have this j, which is basically for your column, and this I is your loop. Inside this you have j, which is your column, and this line is basically for the ending line after each row. And you have now driver code over here which is this value. So just remember, when you working with this range, you could get either something like string object cannot be converted to, or anything else, which is basically the error which is expecting you just have to enter something and you reach out with something another input value from the user. So it should be typecasted or converted into any other data type. In this case we have converted to the integer. It may come times when you just have to convert to the float or double or anything else. So make sure you just know these terms, that is integer method, float method, in order to just support the typecasting. So this will be the wrap for this lecture. See you in the next one.